Roman Reigns' next title defense is now hitting reports, so we'll see what could be coming up for Roman. We'll also check out some cuts WWE could be making, latest for Bianca Belair, and much more. Starting things off with everything related to Roman Reigns. The reigning and undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns has remained conspicuously absent from the squared circle since his last bout at SummerSlam just last month. Intriguingly, it appears that his next championship defense is not slated to occur anytime soon. According to the insights shared by Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it is widely anticipated that the tribal chief will not grace our television screens with his presence until the grand spectacle known as Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia on the forthcoming date of November 4th. Recall that Reigns' most recent encounter unfolded in a dramatic tribal combat showdown against his own cousin, Jey, captivating fans in the main event of SummerSlam. With the championship hanging in the balance, Reigns successfully retained his coveted title, courtesy of a timely intervention by Jey's identical twin, Jimmy. As a milestone to be acknowledged, Reigns has now amassed an astounding reign surpassing 3 years, a remarkable journey that has extended beyond the remarkable 1,100-day mark as the world champion. It is worth noting that during the past year, his championship defenses have been notably infrequent. The enigmatic persona of the head of the table is meticulously curated as a rare attraction, one who invariably emerges on the grandest stages of the wrestling world. This stands in stark contrast to WWE's World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins, who frequents virtually every premium live event on the calendar. In the immediate future, WWE's eagerly anticipated pay-per-view event, Fastlane, is set to take center stage on October 7th. However, there remains a conspicuous absence of any indication that Reigns will grace the event with his presence, let alone step into the ring for a match. If this continues to hold true, the logical arena for his next championship defense would undeniably be the grand spectacle of Crown Jewel, an occasion in which Reigns traditionally finds himself in the spotlight. Following Crown Jewel, WWE's next premium live extravaganza is none other than the venerable Survivor Series, a date marked prominently on the wrestling calendar, slated for November 25th. Cast your memory back to the previous year's Survivor Series, where Reigns showcased his prowess as part of the Bloodline, participating in the electrifying War Games match. Should the much-anticipated War Games spectacle make its triumphant return, there exists a possibility that Roman Reigns may engage in competition without the burden of defending his championship title. As the identity of Reigns' challenger for the Crown Jewel event remains shrouded in mystery, one thing remains abundantly clear: this impending showdown will undoubtedly be a monumental affair, as all of the Tribal Chief's championship defenses tend to be. Following the official consolidation of WWE and UFC into the newly formed TKO Group Holdings earlier this week, there are looming expectations of impending talent releases within the WWE ranks. As reported by Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling, an inside source within WWE has indicated the likelihood of significant reductions affecting both the main roster and NXT talent pool, though the precise timing of these anticipated moves remains undisclosed. According to reports, WWE's president Nick Khan circulated a memorandum to the company's employees on Thursday, urging them to engage in remote work for the subsequent Friday, citing the necessity for workforce reductions. Meanwhile, Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp brought to light a series of personnel departures within WWE on that fateful Friday, affecting executive positions as well as individuals operating in realms such as marketing and digital media. However, conspicuously absent from these changes were any departures from the roster of in-ring talent. PW Insider offered further insights into the situation, indicating that, as of the immediate moment, talent cuts were not slated for execution on that particular Friday. Nevertheless, it remained unspecified whether such actions would be carried out at a later date or potentially averted entirely. It is a common occurrence in the business world for layoffs and terminations to transpire during mergers, often driven by the objective of streamlining and eliminating duplicative roles. Considering that WWE is not set to gain any new additions to its wrestler roster as a result of the merger with UFC, it follows that the extent of personnel reductions within the talent pool may differ considerably from those observed in the executive echelons. It was also reported that Vince McMahon will now also have some say in major decision-making that will even affect UFC. So with the merger now being officially in play, we'll have to see if there'll be any more noticeable changes or major differences. Triple H is no longer on the board of directors following the merger, but he'll still continue as role as the head of creative for the time being. It was also reported that the talent was strongly voicing their opinions for Triple H to stay in creative control, and that appears to be the plan right now. There was also some major developments for the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley during the September 15th edition of Smackdown. Over the last few weeks, the newly formed trio kept discussing their plans to take over WWE and destroy everyone in their path. And one of the things we kept talking about was how, despite being a babyface trio, their promos and overall goals sounded very heel-like, and how there had to be a bigger twist coming down to the line. And September 15th ended up being the night of the twist. Bobby Lashley came out to a great ovation from his hometown crowd, but after the Street Profits picked up the win over the LWO, they officially turned heel by unleashing a brutal post-match attack on them, with Lashley even getting involved and taking care of Rey Mysterio. The Street Profits and Lashley had been internally listed as a heel group, and now we've seen them officially turn. No doubt Bobby Lashley would have his eyes locked in on Reigns and the Undisputed Universal Title, but it's also possible that Lashley could have his sights set on the United States title, which is a championship that he also has plenty of history with. And for the Street Profits, everyone expects them to go back after the tag team titles, which they haven't been anywhere close to them since summer 2022. And if they're going to go after the tag team titles, that means they'll have to cross paths with the current champions Finn and Damian of the Judgment Day. And this is where a really fun fan theory comes into play. The Street Profits will take on Finn and Damian. Bobby Lashley will easily take care of Dominic Mysterio, but there isn't anyone left to cancel out Rhea Ripley, meaning that the Judgment Day will still have the upper hand thanks to the numbers advantage they'll have over the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley. But fans have suggested the idea for Bianca Belair to join the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley in order for her to help them take out the Judgment Day and fully cancel out Rhea Ripley. WWE teased Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair after WrestleMania 39 when both women walked out of the event with their respective titles, but we never ended up seeing that match. And it's understandable why we never saw Rhea versus Bianca after WrestleMania. That matchup is just too major to take place on any random event. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is a WrestleMania-sized matchup, and now you throw in the fact that a whole faction war may be going on behind that matchup, and that could make it even more special. Bianca Belair is currently on a hiatus away from WWE that could allegedly last up 3 months. Last time we saw Bianca, her story appeared to be that no matter how nice and patient she was always getting the short end of the stick and just having so much bad luck coming her way. So if a frustrated Bianca Belair returns and instantly joins her husband in that faction and turns heel to help them with any threats from the women's division, it could be the perfect spot for Bianca to reinvent herself in a very major way. Rhea Ripley has been cruising through her opponents so far during this title reign, but with Nia Jax coming back and now talks of a heel Bianca Belair possibly being on the way, the challengers are definitely getting more intense for Rhea. So it'll be interesting to see if they do go down that direction sometime down the line. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.